right, I've been waiting for a while to get my LaneShark, and I'm going to pull out here, put my seatbelt on, and explain what I'm getting. So you may or may not know that the original LaneSharks were designated LS2 and LS3. LS2 was actually 4 feet wide, and the LS3 was 3 feet wide. So what ended up happening is they came out with the LS4, which is the upgraded LS2, and they added some features. So this is what caught my eye as far as going with the LS4. They've added a back rubber skirt instead of metal. They have put shoes on the front corners of the LaneShark so that when it's on the ground it won't dig in. They have put, instead of 11 holes in the bracket that adjust the angle, there's 20, I think now, for multiple angles. And there's a new locking pin arrangement, and the deck is now 3/16 inch metal instead of 1/8 inch. I think before they had braces welded underneath because it was 1/8 inch metal, and now with 3/16 it's just got top X bracket welded for stability. So the hammerhead just came out as well. So I watched the video of the hammerhead and I'm very impressed with it. And so obviously it would be easier physically to operate the hammerhead, which is hydraulic from the cab, which is nice. However, looking at the two and considering how I will use them in my business, I'm going to go with the LS4. And the new improvements is what swayed me, quite frankly. I'll go over the unboxing and the setup later. So right now, I'm going to get on the highway and quit making this video so I don't get killed. Be back with you shortly. All right, we're here at Oneida Equipment to get the LaneShark. So we're going to go look at this thing. Just a little bit, yeah, and then that'll square it up a little bit. All right, got to get this dude strapped down. I'm gonna get the heat going because it is cold outside. I did not bring my jacket. All right. Little sip of coffee, strap this dude down. Let's see, can you see? I think so. Well, I've never used one, but I've watched a lot of videos of guys using it. Have you ever been around one of these?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, I'm looking forward to it.
You'll be pleased with it.
Yeah?
You know so much with it and stuff.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, being able to do this and this.
Yeah.
Mow off to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Plus fence rows and roads.
Right.
Around.
On Interstate 40 West in Knoxville, Tennessee. And I'm getting some looks at this lime green machine in the trailer. So this is the tractor that I'll be using. It's a John Deere 2006 model, actually, John Deere 4520 with a 400CX loader. What I did last fall is start the process. So this tractor, when I bought it, did not have a third function kit on it. And due to different reasons, money, supply chain issues, it took a while to get the pieces and parts in. So what I did is I had ordered this Everything Attachments grapple, which is the one I really wanted, and it's impressive. It is super impressive. But I had to wait until from August of last year until January of this year. That's how backed up they were as far as getting the grapple. In the meantime, I had bought the third function kit, which on this tractor is installed at this position on the right hand side. Now the third function kit is made by W.R. Long in North Carolina. And for the LaneShark, you get the C-Flow kit, which attaches to that third function kit. The C-Flow kit for the LaneShark is also made by W.R. Long. So what I did is I bought the third function kit, then I bought the C-Flow kit, and in my bedroom, I put those two together and made sure, calling LaneShark, which helped me tremendously to understand how exactly to attach it to the third function kit and get everything perfectly matched. Okay, this is the whips, as they call it, the hydraulic lines that go from the hydraulic pump on the LaneShark to the third function / C-Flow kit. Now, these whips do not come with the LaneShark. They come with the C-Flow kit. So what we reviewed before is all you get when you buy just the LaneShark. And I actually wrapped all of the hydraulic lines in nylon wrapping. LaneShark has a kit you can buy that is more robust than this. I'm probably going to make this a little more robust with some more coil, but protect them is the key. So before you criticize me for my skill set, just know that I was a helicopter mechanic in the Army for 5 years and flew the helicopters for 35. I just retired a couple of years ago, so this is new to me. So be nice. I'm not a professional, if you will, at least not with tractors. My son calls me a tractor pilot, which is probably about right. So let's get these plugs off, and it's got a slot. You can't see it. If you had a large flat tip, you could see, you know, when it comes off, and it's got a little bit of gear oil in it. So I needed to be ready to put this on, and it's got an O-ring on it. There we go. Got it started. I'm not going to tighten it all the way just yet. Okay. That's return. This is pressure. Now that we know it's going to spill out a little bit of fluid. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now, actually, which I did not mention, is there is a manual. And believe it or not, probably want to look at it, even though I've watched the videos and feel like I know what to do. You do get a LaneShark LS4 owner's manual. Again, I'm not going to tighten it all the way until I see how I need to adjust the whips up top. As you can see, you have quite a bit of hose here, and so what I've got is return. So this green here, this is from the Seaflow kit, was not used on the grapple. So this is the return that the LaneShark needs to be on. Got my label here just to be sure. Atlas the Wonder Dog is barking at something. All right, let's check the hydraulics and make sure we don't have any leaks and that everything was installed correctly. 5-yard long handle, as you can see, has the 2 buttons which are used for the grapple. That's open and closed for the grapple. The button that you see on the handle, you triple tap it to turn on the LaneShark and a single tap to turn it off. You see the green wire? This is one of the latest C-Flow kits, and I'm not certain about this, but it's for future use, and I'm making the assumption that the future use is the hammerhead hydraulically controlled. So it's just tucked, not connected to anything. And so really nice functionality there. And one thing I want to do before I operate this thing is to do a slippage mark on these critical bolts and nuts before, so that I can, at a quick glance, see if anything has loosened. I'm going to do it on the bolts up here. I'm going to do it on the hard connections because these swivel, and the hard connection to the pump is fixed. On the whip, I'm going to slippage mark these, which are not such a big deal, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. And there's a couple of bolts on the back side that actually, you know what, I just realized it said grease as needed. So I'm going to grease that, but there's 2 bolts there that I'll slippage mark, and then underneath I will slippage mark a couple of things. So I had a white paint pen, but it was dried up. So I went to my daughter, my teenage daughter, and got Olive and June white fingernail polish, and that'll do the trick. So I'm going to go ahead and mark these, and then I'll show the slippage mark when I get done. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. You can see the grease fitting right there that I'll hit with some grease. You see the white markings. I got the top bolts. Now, the fingernail polish brush was not optimal. I think a paint pen would be better, but it did the trick. So we got the bolts coming up from below. We also got the hydraulic whips connection, if you can see that for the shadows. Sorry about that. Got the 2 retaining bolts for the top part of the hydraulic pump, and even did the whips as well. Okay, on the underside, gives you a better look at what kind of hardware is back here underneath as well. So slippage mark on 4 bolts. Now keep in mind, this is the working side, if you will, of this machine, and these slippage marks are not going to last long, and you may have to repaint them fairly often. We'll see how it works, but these 4 bolts connect to the bottom side of the pump, and then these honking big bolts here connect the blades. Got them. Again, not sure how long the slippage will last. We'll see. Got those. Did not slippage the bolts that go up into the bottom base of the pump because I've already slippage marked those. One thing I want to point out, and we'll go into more detail on how to adjust the LaneShark, excuse me, the LaneShark to swing it out. We've got this pin right here that's spring loaded. You just pull it out and pull this away from the base. Now, if you watch the videos of people doing this, LaneShark videos, you'll see that in one fell swoop they'll push this all the way around. However, with my tractor, that doesn't work when we're perfectly horizontal to the ground. What I've got to do is tilt the LaneShark up a little bit to allow it to clear the front of the grill here, and I can continue. So it's not a great big deal. I'll get used to what that angle is, and it won't be a big deal. It'll actually help you when you're releasing it to get around. So it's no big deal. But I just wanted to make that observation, is it's not a big problem if it doesn't swing out when you're perfectly horizontal. This locks in place. I'm gonna go ahead and hop in and get this thing at an angle that it can swing out. I don't know if you can see this as far as the, let me take this thing off. So I want you to notice that my whips are in kind of a weird angle there, twisted up. So I'm gonna have to watch this to see if I need to make some adjustments as far as connecting the whips and to take the twist out of it. That's yet to be determined. I don't think it would hurt it at all, but I'd like to see less twist than that. What we're going to do is take this pin out right here, the red pin, and go under, and this allows us to pull it out to our desired 90 degrees. Okay, I'm going to put this, trying to do this one-handed. Put this back in here. Now, one of the videos I saw that they recommended is to put the whips in here. So let's do that. Let's see. Sorry about that. Okay. So you can see that kind of gets it up out of the way. Yeah, I think we're okay there. Not a lot of twist. What I had done is tape this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this tape. This is heavy duty tape, and of course I've got it wrapped in nylon. I've got some actually some pull vacuum hose that I kept for these purposes. And what I may do is wrap, just cut a slit along the center line of it and wrap that around the whips in certain places. So just an extra added security. Like I say, LaneShark's got a really nice wrap setup that they can sell that's better than what I'm coming up with. So obviously, if we're going to put out the brace, I was a little bit premature in putting these whips in that position. So we'll hold off on that for just a minute. And we will take the bracing out, which I will pull that up, allow it to go beyond, and put it right back in. And notice that it is in the V-notched position, which is the 90-degree position, just as a good visual. And pull this just a little bit and put the pin in, and I'm set for the 90-degree angle. And then now I can put these whips, wow, okay, and this may be why when I actually started to put the whips in a different position. Oh my goodness. Okay, so with both hands, I've got the whips kind of secured inside of the pin there. And I actually cut the tape, and I'll watch them before I wrap them in that tubing to see how they do when I maneuver it up and down, and kind of go from there as far as what I would do. So what I have to do here is secure this pin here and move it. Okay, so you can see that there are multiple holes in the back plate. This pin is spring loaded and pulled all the way down to where it will not engage. There's a hole for the pin. So what you would do is pull the pin, line up, pull in the frame to the proper hole position, and then let the pin spring load into the hole, put the pin back in, and you're set. All right, so we have got the LaneShark set up on a vertical 90-degree setting. Obviously, I will tilt back up to bring what is now the bottom of the LaneShark out to the front, or whatever angle I want to use in terms of going through the lane, which in my case would just be one side. Got the whips, and again, we're just going through making sure everything is good and secure. Pin is in here, pin is in here, it is secure. Both pins are in here in the 90-degree position. Quick glance at the slippage marks, which we've done. Now, because the weight is off to one side, you have to have some counterweight, and the counterweight would be, as in the manual, instructions is it's just a good idea anyway when you're going to have weight on the front of your tractor is to have ballast in the back tires. So mine are filled, and also through Greenworks tractors, got a Speco speed hitch and counterweights, which I'll bring that up a little bit. But I am good. I think it's 450-ish pounds with the LaneShark. There's just an overall view, and there's Atlas the Wonder Dog. Where's your sister? All right, let's go try this thing out. All right, so we're starting out from the adjustment position, tilted all the way down. So I'm going to bring us up to an operating angle, and you can see that full tilt has me at about, oh, I don't know, 20 to 30 degrees up on that. So I'll need to decide, you know, probably slightly up. I don't know, we'll see what I end up doing with it. Probably can't hear it, but when you are using the front loader and using hydraulics to lift and move the front loader, you're reducing the flow to the LaneShark, and you probably couldn't hear it on the video, but you can hear the speed slow down on the LaneShark as you do that. So just be aware of that. If you can hear that whine when I release the movement of the front loader, the whine when the blade starts spinning back up. I did want to show what happened to the back skirt after spending, I don't know, a solid hour trimming a lane, basically the edge of the woods, if you will, going up and down. As you saw from how I was using the LaneShark, I would start low, back out, then go high. And I'm still learning my technique, but in the process, some of the limbs, as I was backing out, pushed enough forward on this rubber skirt that the blade could actually reach it. So you can see normally what the distance is, and when the limb pushed it forward as I was backing out, obviously the blades got into it. I don't see that as a big deal myself. That's about all it's going to do, because it's already cut through it. I don't have a problem with that. It is what it is, and it's probably my technique caused it. I could have turned the tractor a little bit differently to not pull into the limbs. That's just a function of learning how to use the LaneShark and being new at this, quite frankly. I also stopped at Home Depot and got a proper paint pen and kind of cleaned up my marks from the fingernail polish. It's definitely a lot better using the paint pen. So my next project, I am going to need to mow at a 45-degree angle, 45-degree-ish. And so what I'm gonna do first is put the pin in the upper pin. So I'm at the 90-degree mark right there, as you can see. And I'll pick it up, turn it, this plate, horizontal to the ground, obviously to make it easier with the weight, swinging it around. And put the pin into the upper hole, as you see. I think that's going to give me a 45. And obviously I'll have to have the front loader lifted higher, but that's not a problem. So let me see if that actually does it. All right, let me change the pin position and see what we come up with. Okay, so that was interesting. Don't know if you could see that, but the frame was up against the pin, so at first I tilted up when I needed to tilt down. So that's what you saw. Had to tilt it down and then realized, oh yeah, I've got to pull the spring loaded pin down, put the locking pin in to keep the pin from springing up, move the LaneShark to close to the hole, take the retainer pin out, then budge it to let it spring into place in that top hole. So let's see if I ended up getting what I thought I was going to get, which is that. Cool. If you noticed, I had the hydraulic lines in the red pin to keep it sort of out of the way in the vertical 90-degree position. That doesn't work when you're doing this, because now you're pulling on the lines and you're not going to be able to keep it up there. So again, this is an unboxing of the LaneShark, if you will. Brand new user. Some of the things new users run into is learning, despite watching videos and reading the book. Sometimes you just have to see it for yourself. So it looks like I've got a 45. I'm going to go out here and look at it. Okay, so from the 90-degree position that had the LaneShark completely vertical at the 90-degree perpendicular to the ground, if you will, we had the pin in the middle hole, which is our 90-degree. So I had to think a little bit, even after looking at the book. And again, this goes with any equipment. When you've got so many options as far as angles, which is a good thing, you sort of have to figure out with your particular project what you need to do. So that worked out. From the vertical position, simply bringing the pin 45 degrees out to the top pin. Now my next project is a bank that is about at a 45. Now if I need to adjust that, I've got a whole lot of adjustment right there in the adjustment bar that I can play with. So I'll have to see once I actually get to that project, because it's not my property, it's a client's property, and see what I need to do in terms of adjustments. Obviously I'm going to have to turn the plate horizontal to the ground again, you know, just because it's heavy, and but that is becoming easier as I use it. And I have to tell you, I am very impressed so far. Again, the only problems I've had, if you can call it a problem, is the slit in the back rubber skirt from backing into brush, which is pushing far enough for the blade to get into it. But I don't know, to me that's not a big deal at all. This isn't the project that I was talking about. I wanted to go through this patch that I mowed yesterday at the 45 to kind of get a grip on how that's going to feel before I hit the other property. like this angle because a lot of this stuff that we're going through right now, the vertical just kind of cut a little path through a lot of it. This 45, obviously not as good as putting it flat to the ground as in mowing, but the 45 is chewing it up a lot better. I know the video is long, but I hope maybe you got something out of it that could help. As a new user myself, the unboxing was kind of a learning experience for me, and I just wanted to take you through that. So skip through it if it seems too long. Hopefully you can get some good tips out of it, and maybe you can leave some comments and suggest improvements to my techniques.